Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with an update to the Terminator custom pickup truck. And I'm going to start with some chassis modifications I made. In the comment section of the last video, I noted that this kit was kind of a hybrid of sorts, where it had leaf springs at all four corners, but a two-wheel drive drivetrain. And at the time on these trucks, Chevy and GMC either had leaf springs at all four corners for the four-wheel drive or A-arms for the front suspension on the two-wheel drive trucks. And even though this had one drive line, it had the other suspension. So what I did is I removed the spring shackles from the four corners up front here, and I added a cross member from an AMT Chevy van kit. I'll be adding the lower A-arms from that kit as well, and then I'll either be scratch building or finding some upper A-arms from another kit that I can use. And then back here, I've extended the chassis so that the rear axle will line up with the fender openings on the long box that I got from Mad Modeling. So what I did is I've got some metal pins going through, holding this white bit of plastic in the middle, and then on the top I've got a 10 by 80 which is glued down to just kind of help tie everything together. Once this is fully set up, I'll go ahead and sand off the little rough bits here, smooth that all off, and make it look like some proper frame rails through there. And so here is the finished and painted chassis. Overall, I think that came out pretty decent. If you know what you're looking for, you can still see the lines where I added the section, but it's really not too bad, and I think once I do the final weathering on it, you won't be able to see it at all. I also have the rest of the lower front suspension done. The upper suspension is actually going to have to be grafted to the fender liners, just the way that they come right down to this line here. So I'm going to wait until I have the cab installed before I do those. And speaking of the cab, I went ahead and decided to fill in the sunroof. So what I did first was put a thin sheet of plastic with liquid cement to the inside of the cab. And then I took a thicker piece of plastic, cut that to the size of the hole, and this pink that you see is Bondo 2-part glazing putty. And that's my favorite for filling in large cracks and other areas like that. It doesn't shrink, and it dries to a consistency very similar to the plastic. Some of them, they dry rock hard, so that when you're trying to sand it, you end up cutting away the plastic and leaving the filler. But this stuff works pretty good. So there's that. So that's where I am on this. I've started work on the engine, but that's drying right now, so I don't want to touch it until it's had a chance to finish setting up. And that will be my focus over the next few days, along with sanding this roof off and cutting the lines for the door, because as you can see, these are pretty shallow right there. But I'll fix those up. And yeah, so that's it for this week. Check back next week for another update, and thanks for watching.